Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 9 and 45-year-olds from Warren, Michigan and Fort Myers, Florida. Shout out to the Lonnie Kai, USA. One returns to the shed after way back in episode 215 when we discussed his illustrious career mucking it up. But he is now a championship coach with perhaps the second best minor hockey coaching staff ever. The other makes his shed debut as perhaps the fastest rising star in the game, running an absolute muck of the Brick Invitational, putting up 17 points in 8 games played. And folks, that's as a D-man. And for fun, earned the D-man of the tournament. But more importantly, they are Brick Invitational 2024 champions. Winning with your son is the best, and it makes you brothers for life with all their friends. And they just did that with the Detroit Junior Red Wings. Welcome to the shed, Jaxson and Ernie Hartlieb.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having us on.
Hey, thanks for making the time. It's a busy life we're living. This parenting
Yeah,
thing, isn't it?
it gets in the way. It does.
It can, but not really when you get to go do things like you two just got to do. Eh? That is about as fun as life gets, isn't it, Jaxson?
Yes.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it looked like fun. I saw some highlights of you making plays out there, buddy. So you got a pretty good coaching staff. Fun fact is I mucked it up against every single one of your coaches.
We played against all of us.
That's weird, eh?
Yeah.
And then you guys become the Brick Invitational champions. And you know what? Fun fact is the under 13 Concardant Canucks are all Ontario champions too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
It was as fun as it gets winning with your son, and you guys just did that.
Yeah, it was an experience that will hold dear in my heart for forever and ever and a long time. And be able to do it with to be a coach and do it with your son, and then actually to win it, it makes it that much more sweeter, especially for Detroit's first time doing it with the Little Caesars team. So it was quite an experience.
So it's go ahead, Jaxson.
It was really fun.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Winning is fun.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been as much fun if you would have lost, right?
No.
Still a good experience and all, but it's like the opposite, right? Where the other team was probably like not feeling as good as you guys were.
No.
I'm not a mean coach, but like some of my pregame speeches when it was chance to end team seasons, I would say I want to see them cry on the ice.
Well,
and we did it every time.
Yeah, there was quite a few. I mean, you don't want to see that, but
no, but that means they care and they tried really hard and they put their all into it, right? I cried after hockey games when we get put out, you know?
Right. Yeah. Normal.
It is normal. Once you realize what winning's like, losing is way worse.
Exactly.
So Jaxson was a pretty wild barn, eh?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I saw your mums hanging over the glass, high-fiving you guys after goals.
Yeah.
Takes everybody to win. It's nice to see the mums getting involved out there, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a hockey mom, eh? Climbing over the glass, giving a little high five.
Well, you got to get involved. So when we went to Ontario's, what our mums did was they all got tight pants, bright orange for the Canucks. So all the mums rocked into the arena with the tightest orange pants, like bright orange. And it was hockey.
Yeah. Hey, look at me. Everyone look at
me. We're all together. We're one team. And it looked like you guys had a hockey family. So have you played with this team before? Because you guys are in Florida.
No.
Well, we played last year with them, and we kind of, it was a build up for the Brick tournament. So Jaxson was asked, to come play in the pre-Brick tournaments last year, and being from Michigan and myself playing for Little Caesars, we thought it was a perfect fit. And as a father, you want to see, your kids play for a team that you played for growing up. So Jaxson was fortunate enough to get asked to go and play in the pre-Bricks last summer, and made friends with everybody and did really well. And then, we got asked to play this year. So it worked out great. And then obviously Jimmy asked me to coach with him and the rest of the coaching squad. So it was a perfect storm.
That's living.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
So Jaxson, my team won, and then when you win, they're like, "Hey, parents, spend more money." and they offered us to buy rings with our logo on. I still don't have mine, but I ordered it and paid for it for me and my son. You guys got them right after the game?
Yeah,
You
How
know,
cool is your ring?
they're cool.
you should have
Yeah.
got it. You could have showed him the ring.
Should I?
No,
Yeah,
you can.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, dude, actually. I can't wait to get my ring.
You didn't. So you had to order them. Yeah, they had them when we were picking up the trophies for them. They handed the rings out to us. I didn't even realize that they were going to do that. So it was cool. The kids put the rings on, and you know, I got my ring, and
Yeah.
not many rings in the Hartlieb house, but Jaxson gets one at an early age of 9 years old. So
The I got a gold helmet for winning, which was a pretty cool thing other than a ring. That's in Denmark, back
Yeah.
there. And it's pretty cool because it can keep you safe after winning, and you can wear it like any fun time later in life. And your kids can wear it as like a bike helmet.
Yeah.
It's fun. But the ring I actually got for winning in junior B, my son misplaced it on me, so I don't even have it now, you know?
Well, you got the memory. You got the
Yeah,
memory.
that's what it's about though, right?
Yeah. The
So what was
memory.
the final score of the final game, Jaxson?
4-3 us.
Oh, it was a tight one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we scored with 3 minutes left.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a nerve-wracking game. I mean, maybe not for Jaxson, but for Coach Dad,
I understand.
it was a nerve-wracking game, but you know, we ended up on top.
So it was it a pretty goal or was it an ugly playoff goal?
It bounced in off the defenseman's skate.
Yeah.
Take him through how the goal was scored.
Like,
How was it? How was it?
oh, we broke it out. The forward is turning, and I saw a wide open spot. I got there, turned to the left, and then backhand to him, and it bounced off the defenseman's skate.
Who scored it?
Christian Clare.
Christian Kalarick.
Christian Kalarick. Chad
got it.
Kalarick's little
Chad.
man.
Yeah, yeah. He was the MVP of the playoffs and the top scorer of the tournament. So he had a
Muck
heck of
man.
a, heck
Jeans
of
are
a
a thing. It's starting to look like, huh?
Yeah. So
So I mucked it up. He was at the University of Michigan my last couple. He was just getting in. I think I might have played a year or two against him.
Yeah.
And then I was done. And I went to Syracuse, and then his brother was my teammate at the end of that senior year for a very short time.
really,
So
what a small
it's a
small
world.
Yeah, it's a small. It was funny because when we were Jimmy we were talking, we were at the bar one night and we were dabbling through hockey DB or elite prospects and kind of going through you know, the coach's stats and whatnot. And I mean, you look at the our coaching staff that we had. Obviously, you got Jimmy Howard in the NHL for 14 years, and an Olympian, an All-Star, and then you got Chad Kalarick, played at Michigan, played in the American League, played in the NHL, played in Germany, and then Mark Mancari, who was, I mean, just a pure goal scorer, played in the American League, and obviously I played, but we had a really good coaching staff that
There is a lot of knowledge on that bench.
yeah, we had a lot of
a lot of experience.
Yeah, a lot of games played with the coaching staff, and I think that everybody had a role and played a role in what they did on the hockey team. And
I'm
it
curious how that was. So for my experience was I was a co-coach with another fellow that played some hockey. And
Yeah.
then I didn't want too many cooks in the kitchen with
Right.
maybe guys saying things that I wouldn't say. And then all of a sudden the kid's confused. So I politely said, so if we're going to do this, can you please leave the hockey coaching to us two? And you guys make sure all the kids are having fun. You know,
Yeah.
the doors open and shut at the right time. There ain't no too many men calls, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, and that's basically like how it was. I mean, all of us are head coaches on our own teams, and you know, and I mean, Chad coaches at the U.S. development team. Mark was in the OHL. Jimmy's Jimmy Howard. I mean, he's
Yeah.
you know, he's Jimmy Howard, and you know, and I coach as well. So you know, Jimmy and Chad were, you know, they coached together during the season for Little Caesars, so they were up top, and Mark and I had the D gate. Mark had the forward gate. His son was a goalie. But you know, we all put our hockey knowledge in when we had to. We knew the pecking order. I mean, Chad did an unbelievable job. I mean, the whole thing was set up. I mean, they were run like an NHL team. We had pregame breakfasts. We're all set up, post-game meals. We had video. Chad did an unbelievable job breaking down video every game. We were showing clips of, you know, our power play was nasty. It was probably the best power play I've seen around. I mean, just
honestly, dude, I saw a couple highlights and I saw it. They were working it around like like
Yeah.
little NHL players. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, some of the groups I've coached, it's been very hard to set up power plays because they're just not ready hockey wise to understand where to be. And the way they were spread out, they were moving to the goal line, going to the net. It was
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Well, yeah, it was fun to watch from the bench, but then you didn't realize how nice it was till after we watched clips and videos and the spots where we told them to be and plays they were making, and it was just like we were looking at each other and underneath our breaths, just shaking our heads laughing because it was fun to watch, and then you could just see the pure talent on some of the kids. I mean, all the kids that were out there that in their hockey knowledge. I think the biggest thing is their hockey IQ.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be a great skater, you can be a great shooter, but if you don't have the hockey IQ to make plays, I mean, you don't really
Well,
have
and
a lot.
make plays and like to know what to do with the puck and also where to be without it.
Yeah.
But Jaxson, so
Yeah.
you're not normally on this team. So you show up and run a muck and top D and are running a power play and you don't even practice with them normally?
I do. Like, we had 3 tournaments, but I practiced with them 3 times before the brick.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah,
So have
we
you
had,
been gone from home for a while to do this then?
yeah, yeah.
well, we've been staying up at Uncle Jimmy's house up in Detroit in his basement. So we would fly up for practice, and we'd practice for 3 or 4 days. We practiced at Yost. We practiced at
I
Plymouth.
hate that barn. It's
Yeah,
such a sweet barn, but so many
yeah.
bad memories.
Yeah, classic. I was telling the kids one night we played there when I was with Miami, and I don't think they got halfway through the fight song when they'd start the fight song over again because
Oh.
we got smoked. But it just to be able to be in the building with the kids and do that was a special thing. So
I totally hear you. I had a dream to take my Canucks to Western Michigan this year when I coached the under 13s again because my kid was a first year and he's on the same team again. But I wanted to take them, and then I looked into like bus costs and how to get everybody there and what it would cost. I'm like, I can't ask these people to do this because it'd mean way more to me than it would to them, you know?
right, right. And I don't think people realize I mean, they probably do, and how expensive, especially for us, because being down here in Florida and then flying up to Detroit all the time, or flying to Toronto, or flying to Chicago. I mean, it's expensive. So I mean, it's a commitment from all the parents. And that's why I guess I think it made it so much sweeter that they won. It's because the parents invest so much time and money and effort. And to see our kids do what they did made it that much sweeter. Made it all the money that we spent worth it. So
I totally understand. I
yeah.
do. So Jaxson, what kind of twig do you use?
FD7.
FD7. I bet you that one's not cheap either.
No.
So tell how many sticks do you have in our garage? The CCM sticks.
So 17.
17.
So
So
Dad's got a good
17.
job then.
Yeah, 17. Yes, 17, and yeah, and so
So
Dad.
you would obviously have to have a good setup in the real world if you can be pulling this off, because doesn't sound to me like I could pull it off with what's going on, you know?
Well, I mean, we're fortunate that we can do it, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's it is what it is. But when Jackson's, he realizes that he's spoiled, but if he's gonna get these sticks, he better have fun and do his
Yeah.
best, and he did that. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I hear
complain
you.
about it.
No,
So,
and you know what? Having a good stick does matter, because I've played with the bad ones when a cheap team wouldn't give you the good sticks.
yeah.
And then when you get your chance to score and you don't score because the stick sucks, it will piss you right off.
Well, yeah. Well, I try to tell him that I played with Sherwood's coffee curve back in the day. Even my first year pro, even playing in the American League, I was using a wood stick, and now I don't even think I could fathom using a wood stick after you
Uh,
see all the
there
twigs.
is a difference. There is a
Oh my
difference.
God.
These
Yeah.
new sticks when you can just whip them. But so Jaxson, it's weird that I do a podcast now because I missed all my friends once I retired. But I remember when I was at Western Michigan and I was at Yost, and I had a really long shift because we couldn't get out of our end. And then Fox or Sports or whatever interviewed me right after the period, and I couldn't breathe and I was out of gas. And it was the worst interview ever done in hockey. And it was one of my first ones. And my college roommates recorded it and would play it over and over and over in our apartment. And I saw you at 9 years old getting interviewed on the ice. And I'm like, man, this kid's way better than me already.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was getting interviewed at the time, and then everybody posted it, and I saw it. We were dying laughing because they asked him how many NHLers are on your team? And he gives you a lot. And so it's just it was cute and seeing the kids do the interviews like that.
But you know what, man? Doing this stuff at your age, it's gonna help you when you get older and have to do that stuff. Because I used to get all nervous.
Yeah, you're not nervous, are you?
No.
No.
So how would you? What type of player are you, Jackson? Tell me,
Offensive,
if you were
defensive.
giving yourself a player review, who are you?
Yeah, who do you play like?
Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes. That's a big, bold statement.
Well,
Quinn
your
Hughes.
your stats back it up, kid.
Yeah. Well, he has this issue of he likes to take penalties, so he likes to play physical.
You compete, do you?
Well, we try to tell him to not take penalties, and he goes out and throws a shoulder to somebody. I think he had 8 or 10 minutes in penalties as a Brick too, and it would drive Coach Jimmy crazy because he would look at me every time we were like, "No, Jaxson, no," and he'd throw the shoulder to somebody, and then Uncle Jimmy would look at me with this pissed off look, and I'm like, "Jimmy, what do you want me to say?" Anyway,
Yeah.
found himself in the penalty box a few times.
Jackson, do you have anything to say about that?
No.
We'll get in the extreme. Yeah. What's going through your mind when we tell you don't take
So
a penalty?
you know what's funny though is there was a time where the other team was tripping and hooking my son quite a bit. This is when he was first getting going, and I
Yeah.
said, refs usually don't call the penalty if you have the puck. So then the next couple times he just like skated through the kid,
Yeah.
and he got away with it a couple times. Then all of a sudden it turned into trying to reverse hit kids and taking penalties and like just straight up body checking people. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm not kind of well, I'm not excited. Well, I am a little excited when he's got a little ways to go before they can start hitting, but his mindset is 3 or 4 years in advance right now, but we'll see.
I had one. We were a year away from most of my team from contact, and I had a fellow that was very much ready and was also the most penalized player in Ontario.
Yeah. So he liked to muck it up.
Well, our team was the #1 ranked team in penalties and also the champions. And I actually ran into a dad of the team we played in the finals, and he said it really helped us. We played during the round robin because we had never played a team that was even close to aggressive and like mean as your team. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, hockey hasn't actually changed. The team that
Yeah.
tries harder and competes harder wins in the playoffs.
100%.
And
100%.
they usually don't call as many penalties either in the playoffs.
Yeah, they let it go. They let it go.
Yeah, you're just trying hard.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, how many do you think will make the NHL? Because you know what, this brick thing's a real deal. That you're obviously got the hockey IQ, that's some talent, and I mean, like Connor Bedard played in that tournament, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some of you make it, right?
Yeah.
So how many guys you think on your team?
Couple.
Couple?
Yeah.
Couple.
It isn't an easy thing to do though, because
No.
there's a fine line. It's like your old man and myself.
Yeah.
We were close, and it wasn't that far away. You know,
we have bad agents. Bad agents.
Yeah, I like to blame them too.
I blame the agents.
Yeah, it's the agent's fault.
The agent's fault.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, Jackson, you ever been to the Lonnie Kai?
No.
No, we don't allow him there yet. Well, it got wrecked during the hurricane, but he's got a couple more years before he go to Lonnie Kai.
Yeah, yeah. So, fun fact: do you play roller hockey like the old man did?
Yeah.
You play Narch?
No.
He played tours. We were gonna play this year, but the brick got in the way of everything. So we're gonna wait till next year to play.
Yeah, I wanted my kid to get into it, but there's nowhere around here in the middle of nowhere. It's just not doable.
No.
But it was fun, man. The reason I know what the Lonnie Kai is because when we won Narch, we stayed there and we had fun.
What year was that?
I was at Western Michigan, so it was I don't know, when's that? 2002, 3-ish, 4-ish?
Yeah.
Right before I went pro, I think, a year or two before.
Yeah, so it would have been 2 or 3.
Yeah, and
they don't have it down here anymore.
Well, that hurricane, I think last time we talked, it just happened, and there was a lot of cleanup happening going on. So, how are things now?
I mean, it's great now. I mean, the beach got wiped out, but they're cleaning it up, and we're right in the middle of getting ready for hurricane season to start picking up here. So we're hoping that we don't have another one down here soon. So
Jackson, you get used to this hurricane thing down there?
Yeah, he's been into 3 of them now. I think the first one we slept in the office at Hertz Arena, Germain Arena.
That Tours, that's the other one. That's not Narch, it's the other one. I won that with an Atlanta team.
Yeah,
Yeah, in Michigan at the Bell Tire thing, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, anywho, that would have been around the same time.
Big time.
So anywho, let's see here. There were also after you won, because I love seeing teams win. As long as they're not playing against me and not in the same league as me, I love it. When you guys won and everybody comes flying into the corner, just like my team did, what was with the topless dudes running around?
They said if we won, they would jump on the ice with their shirts off.
Who was that though?
It's my brother and a couple of
It was my other son and the older brother, Jimmy Howard's older son, and the fan. So we went to
They
celebrate.
know how to hockey, eh?
And they jumped right. Yeah, they were the ones throwing the octopus on the ice every game before the game. That was their big. They went to, there was a store at the mall that they were selling squids and octopus. So their job was to make sure that national anthem there was going to be an octopus thrown on the ice after the anthems.
And the arena was okay with this?
Oh yeah, they loved it. I mean, it's
That
been
is awesome.
They've been doing it. The Zamboni driver came out like Al Sabaka whipped it over his head and started swinging it around his head. So
And then you guys went out and won just like the old school days, eh?
Yeah. Back in the old days when the Wings won. So it was good.
That's right. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
So Jaxson, I recognize the guy that was giving you all your awards.
You know who was giving you the awards?
I forgot his name.
Zach Parisi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like my age and he still plays the NHL. Imagine that.
Yeah, he just retired. He just said.
Oh, is he done?
Yeah, he just retired. I mean, he looked like. I mean, he just played. What was he with Colorado, and he just got done.
Yeah, that's man. I couldn't imagine being in the NHL at my age, and he's the same age as me. But
you should have seen
he's
him on
quite
the
the career.
He was coaching there. Yeah, he did. He was coaching. His son was playing for Minnesota.
It's almost like genes are a thing. We're starting to figure out, eh?
I know. When you see all the good. I mean, not saying that we're the best or anything, but you see all the kids that did damage at these tournaments, and their fathers or somebody, or mothers or whoever had played the game. So
yeah, it's weird though, especially when I start doing a podcast with like nearly 400 episodes. Is every time I look at a last name, I'm like, well, that can't be his son. Well, that can't be his son, and every time it is.
yeah.
So Jaxson, did you know your coach Mancari was a forward and his son's a goalie, and then Uncle Jimmy, we're calling him, his son's a forward and he was a goalie?
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Are goalies weird, do you find?
I'd never want to be a goalie.
Right. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It's fun in like mini hockey, but why would you want people shoot pucks at you?
At your head.
Right. And you don't even get to skate around and make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My team wasn't allowed in a tournament that we had signed up for last year. So we had a 3-on-3 tournament on our own and rented ice. And we needed an extra goalie for the third team. So I strapped on the pads.
Come on, really?
Yeah. And won the championship.
You're a goalie?
I played goalie for the day. I made a trophy and we broke the teams into 3 teams, and the other 3 coaches coached a team and I was a goalie. And man, it's a tough position.
Why?
Especially when you're using the 6'4" goalie's equipment and the pads go up to your nipples.
Oh yeah, I mean, every kid wants to be a goalie at one point in their life. Even myself did, and then my dad took me out and just fired pucks at my head or hit me in the nuts, and I didn't want to be a goalie anymore. So that solved that. So
I totally agree. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So Jaxson, what time was the final game at? Was it like in the afternoon?
Yeah.
What time?
Like 12.
So 12. Okay. So what was the pregame meal? What got you going?
Banana, some potatoes, breakfast potatoes, and some eggs.
Every morning. Same thing every morning.
Yeah. Well, once you get in a routine, right? That's hockey.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any problem sleeping the night before the game? You were ready, focused.
The big thing, it was so hot in the locker rooms down there. We had to get the kids out of the locker room. It was underneath the mall, and there was no air conditioning. So some of these kids were overheating, and I didn't want them to pass out because it was so hot underneath the rink. So they would get out. That was our biggest thing when we were there for the kids, to get them out of the locker room quick. It was so hot.
The rooms, when they're too hot, that can really zap your energy.
I mean, yeah, right? Especially when you're out, you're skating around, you're sweating, and you go down to a sauna to sit in between periods, because they resurfaced after the second, third of every game. But then in the playoffs and the finals, they resurfaced after every period. So they'd go down, and it was a hot box for the kids. So, but
Yeah, you don't need that at
no.
all. So Jaxson, I saw you guys went 8-0. So you just won
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah.
Did you blow some teams out on the way?
Yeah, we beat Chicago 7-2.
Yeah. And then there's some close ones though, like even the finals, a 1-goal game, 3 minutes left. Who was that against? Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto Bulldogs.
That would have been fun. Who'd you beat to get there? How'd that one go?
Boston.
Boston.
In the semis.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we played Boston. Well, second time we played them in a pre-tournament, but we played the Bulldogs 3 times prior before the final, and we'd won every single game, and we were kind of like, well, one out of whatever. It was
And the
you know,
1-game finals, yeah.
right, and that was our thing we were talking about. But we thought we thought it was gonna be a bigger lead than we got, but Toronto came out good, and we came out kind of I don't know if it was because we beat them 3 times and we just thought we were gonna beat them, but.
And that does happen in hockey.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about, but it took till a 3 minute mark left in the game to get a go ahead goal. So it was.
Yeah, that would have been an exciting moment. Was that when all the bubs were hanging over the glass high-fiving?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's every mom's dream is to be at the brick hanging over the glass for their son. He saw all of them and going wild.
Well, yeah. And I would say, it was the same with my team. Is all those parents are when you see how proud they are of their kids, man, as a coach, it can just get you right in the heart,
Oh yeah, and you don't realize. I mean, obviously you realize how big the brick is. We've been talking about this for the kids for the last 2 or 3 years, and you've seen it played. But like we're getting phone calls 2 and 3 days after the tournament from parents for just messages saying, "Guess what?" And I'm like, "What? We won the brick." So I mean, it's just that's how big the brick tournament is for everybody, especially the parents. But
I mean,
it's
it is, man. Like,
yeah,
it winning makes you brothers for life. It's too
yeah,
bad you're so far away from them, but I guess you just
I
gotta go
know.
visit, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
For me, I'm in this tiny little town, and when we won, it's like every time I go into town, I run into one of them biking around town, and every time it's fun. And now we're
fun.
having our first reunion this weekend, golf tournament, pool party. Here we go, under
Really?
13 boys, bring the noise.
That's awesome.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I'm gonna do the biggest belly flop they've ever seen, Jaxson. I do one at every minor hockey tournament if they earn it.
I love it. I love it.
So what else do I got here? How many players did you guys have on your team? Were you running 4D and 3 lines?
So we had 8 forwards and 5D. We had 13 skaters and 2 goalies. And because it's the first time, usually a lot of teams they go extras and we went less. And I think the good thing with our team, if you look up and down the lineup, there was no real weak spot in our team. I mean, and you can see, we went 8-0 in the brick, but we didn't lose a game 2 months before that. I think we
So
lost
what
in
were you running?
overtime.
2 centers and 3 sets of wingers?
Yeah, we were running 2 centers, and 3 sets of wingers. And then
And
we
then
had
on D, do you have 2
we
guys
had
that are going every other, and then the other
yeah,
3? Yeah.
yeah, we had we had Simon Bondi, who was Little Caesars big gun, and at Jaxson Caroni, and then we had Coop Miller, who's a 2015. His brother was last year, was one of the top forwards and point getters in the tournament. And his dad runs Little Caesars, pretty much the teams he's going to coach next year. But so we had Coop, who was getting a head start, and getting a
That's
taste of
quite the
it. He
thing.
did
Yeah.
great. Yeah, and then another Scantonboro. So we had five D, and then we would, in certain situations, we would cut down the bench a little and fill in spots. But it was good coaching, and
Well,
we
yeah.
got the win, so we won. So I mean, it worked out. Everybody's a champ, and I
Well,
think
just
you're gonna see a lot more teams going to 8 and 5. I mean, a lot of I mean, it sucks when you go as a parent and you got so many players just so you can say you go, but then you don't really play a whole lot.
I
So
totally agree.
I think you're going to see a lot more teams after they saw what we did this year, shorten the lineup or shorten the bench
How
for goal.
long were the periods?
They were 12, 12, 15.
Yeah.
And in the final, it was 15, 15, 15.
The only reason I was curious was last year we went with 3 lines and 5D, and then I heard some very disturbing rumor around this town that they were talking about making me take 16 to 17 skaters next season, which is over 3 lines in 60. And I'm like, to play a couple 10-minute periods in a 15. It's like, so you
Terrible.
want these kids to like hockey, or what are we doing here? It's like,
Yeah.
so then that extra forward or 7th D man, you think they're enjoying the game, or am I healthy scratching kids at under 13 so
Yeah.
they don't have to sit there all game? It's like, this wouldn't make any
No.
sense. So if they're listening to me in my shed, I hope that doesn't happen, because, you know, I don't
Right.
like flipping tables and kicking garbage cans, but I want my kids to have fun and enjoy hockey. And if you have too many players, you can't
Yeah,
make everybody
exactly.
happy.
And they're not going to get. I mean, they're 9 and well, your kid, whatever, mine are 9 and 10 years old. They go out play 2 hockey games, go swimming. They still got a lot of energy to play, and so
Yeah.
what you just end up is you just have a perfect storm for a pissed off parent, and then it
Yeah.
makes
And then the
makes
kid's not
everything-
enjoying it as much either.
No, and then it makes it miserable for everybody. So yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Like, I'm not good at this podcast that much, Jackson. I just do it because I like it, you know? I'm looking at my notes to see what else to say. You got any questions for me?
No.
Did you know the Dayton Bombers beat the Florida Everblades 2006-7?
Yeah, we lost in the semifinals of that game.
Yeah, it's game 7, buddy. It was
That's the game.
big win for the Daytona Beach Bombers before they went bankrupt.
That's the game that game winner went off my butt. Remember I tell you about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that game.
Sorry,
Plain-
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an exhausting series though, man, and it's hot in Florida.
Yeah, that one. I remember that one. That was a 2-on-1 shot off Craig Kowalski's pad, came back, hit me in the butt, went in the net, and that was the game winner. Never hear the
Yeah.
end of it.
I remember we went one game to like the 5th or 3rd overtime or something. We had guys on IVs cramping, and it was like, we're going out to play again. This is wild.
Oh yeah, I remember that series.
So Jackson, what's the biggest goal you've ever scored?
Overtime winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fun, eh? What was your celly?
Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
The
All the kids
Heartbreaker?
love that one now, eh?
What's the Heartbreaker?
Isn't that's the Patrick Kane one, right? Where you do the heart
Oh.
and then you punch through it?
Yeah. We didn't do that when we were back in their age.
No, if you did that, the big guy in the other team would run you through the boards.
Yeah, now it's normal. 6 sallies, skate away from every teammate, do your sally, and
Yeah,
it's a different game. It's a different game.
I actually that's actually part of my coaching. Is I tell them that everybody on the ice scored the goal and you all go celebrate together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's I think it has to do with the Chell, a video game, NHL 24 or whatever. You get to pick your
Sally.
sallies, and so all the kids, as long as they don't do a selfie stick.
It's so Jackson, or you probably got called Jax most of the time, or what?
Yeah.
So who's your normal team?
My normal team, the Junior Everblades.
Junior Everblades. So then
Little
how far do
line.
you got to travel for there?
Like 5 minutes. Well,
You live right by the barn, eh?
Yeah.
But for like some tournaments, we travel 2 hours.
For some games we have to travel a couple hours. He plays for the Junior Everblades. For me, he plays on the 12U, so he plays with kids that are 2 years, 3 years older than him, and then he plays on the Florida Alliance 2014 team where we go and we'll play like Little Caesars and Chicago and whatnot. So that's just a tournament team because they don't allow full season AAA down here.
Oh yeah.
So we just play.
I was just curious the competition you're getting throughout the winter, you know, if you're the best D man at the Brick.
Yeah, well, he plays with kids 2 and 3 years older, so it's the more it's the size and the speed of the kids. I just worry about them not getting hurt, but
Right.
you know, it's good.
Yeah, it's a different way of looking at it because I was always a tiny guy growing up, and I
Yeah.
always had to play against the big guys, even because they were my age, but they were way bigger than me. And then once I kind of filled out and like I had
Yeah.
learned how to handle myself with big guys. And if you're doing that and then you're actually going to end up being a big guy, you're going to know how to use your body and be a big guy.
Yeah.
'Cause some of those big kids that play the little kids growing up, they don't learn how to use their body because they've always been bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully he gets bigger than me. So
Well, you were pretty big. I remember you walking
Alright.
around the roller hockey barns and your big ass sticking out.
yeah, I mean I'm pretty at 6'2", but hopefully let's see if he gets that tall. He's meaty. He's got my body type, so we'll see.
And then you got an older brother, Jackson.
Yeah, Hunter.
He was
He's
the
a-
topless fella. So does he play too?
Yeah, he played in the Brick last year, and
Jeepers, jeans are a
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. So he's we're leaving tomorrow for Columbus for a 2013 tournament. So I just got back from Edmonton and spent my 2 months with Jaxson, and now we can't leave out Hunter. So it's Hunter's turn, and now we take off for Columbus tomorrow in the afternoon for the weekend. So
What do you do for a day job?
I'm a financial guy, so I can do a
So
lot
you
of
can do that from
I can
there.
do that from my phone. Yeah, I can do a lot from my phone and whatnot. And I hadn't taken even vacation time, and I kind of save everything for the summer just for these occasions. And
Yeah.
I need a break from my work and just to clear my mind, and then it's all hockey. So it
Oh
works
yeah.
out. It works.
Pretty much all my vacations are used on going to hockey tournaments or gymnastics events too, as
There
well.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a big day though. I've been trying to get my daughter into well, it's been her journey. She always said she hated hockey until she was like 7. Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden one day she says, "Dad, I want to play hockey this year." Then she's been on teams and they go to tournaments and they win trophies. And then the other day she went out to town and she could get a tattoo and got 2 hockey sticks on her arm. A temporary tattoo of hockey sticks. And I'm like, finally got you.
I thought you meant she got a permanent tattoo. I'm like,
No, she's only 9.
I was gonna
It
say,
lasts like a week, but it meant a lot to me.
oh yeah, right to your heart, right to your heart.
Yeah, because now she's figuring out how fun it is to be on a team, and then you get to go out there and muck it up against another town and try and win. That's fun.
Yeah, that's great. It's
Mhm.
great.
So, Jaxson, what do you do now that the brick's over?
We're gonna have to go to hockey.
We're going to stick and puck after this podcast.
Stick and puck.
Yeah, open ice. Yeah, it's down here. They have open hours on the ice. You can just sign up and go and work on shooting and go out and play. So his brother and him are going to go out and I try to get him to take a break. He was trying to get to come to this tournament this weekend. I said, absolutely not. You're going to shut her down for a while. But he talked us into doing stick and puck with his brother. So in an hour, we're going to go to the rink.
I totally understand what you guys are going to do because just 30 minutes away, they got Shinny, they call it, and you can go out and do whatever you want. And it was at 8 a.m. on Saturdays, and I take a truckload out of my boys whenever I have a Saturday I can. And then they just go out and do whatever they want for an hour, and I get out there and muck it up a bit too. And then it's fun, you know, then we have breakfast and go home, and then that's a fun little morning. And then playing hockey in the summer is fun.
100%. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So
Well, that sounds fun. So Jaxson,
Yeah.
the trophy. That was one of the coolest pictures. That was one of the hockeyiest photos I've ever seen was you with your game face holding it over your head, eh?
Yeah.
how fun was it?
It was really cool.
How heavy was it?
Heavy. It was pretty heavy.
Heavy?
You should get that picture printed out, put that right up
Yeah.
in your shed.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Oh yeah, that's a lifelong memory right there.
Yeah, he had his at the end of the tournament they do the jersey exchange, and so we had 3 jerseys, and I was going to keep one of his jerseys to frame, but everybody wanted to trade, so we just traded. We're ordering 2 new jerseys to frame, but Jaxson got a couple. He got a Montreal jersey, a Toronto Bulldog jersey, and a Chicago jersey for his hockey collection in the trade. So it was pretty cool at the end of the
That is
tournament.
cool. And if you can still end up with one of your own team, because you're going to want that, because like the ones behind me sat in boxes for, well, I guess some of them for decades. And it
Yeah.
wasn't for about 5 or 6 years that I was out of the game that I finally brought them out of the boxes. And now I'm proud of them, you know, now that
Yeah.
I'm over the sadness of being done.
Exactly. Well, they have my jerseys in the garage, so now they're taking over with my kids' jerseys. Mine are coming down, and the kids are going up. So it's
Oh yeah, I understand.
it's actually really cool. It's really cool to see.
I hear you. And you guys are making your own hockey memories. So Jaxson, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Your old man would play for the Everblades when they'd need a guy for years. But
Yeah.
then he takes 4 years off. And then he comes back in 2018-19, plays a game and scored a goal. Were you there?
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
your dad go out there and muck it up. Had you ever seen that before? Him play
Yeah.
a pro game?
I have.
Not a pro game.
Not a pro game, but
And then you saw him score?
I didn't know because he was wearing a suit. I was like, "Where are you going?" And he said to work. And we went to the game a couple hours later, and then we saw him in warm-ups.
He just said he was going to work, and then you guys went to the game and he was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't want to tell us.
That's a fun day. Eh? That would have been a surprise for you.
Yeah, they saw me come out in warm-ups. They were standing by the glass, and I smacked the glass with my stick. And they freaked out that he saw Dad out on the ice. And then
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and then they got to see Dad score, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
And that was my last, and that's actually perfect for my last game ever of playing. You know, called back a couple times. I was like, I can't get any better. My kids see me play for the first time, even though I've been retired forever, and then to see me score, I said that just capped off
That's it.
a great hockey career. So
And you did. Your jersey retired there, right?
yeah, it's retired there.
So Jaxson, that's got to be cool for a kid. Or
Yeah.
do you even care when you show up and you see the old man's number up there?
I practice there and I look up and it's my dad's number and his name.
That's
It's
pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's your coach.
Yeah.
yeah, Jackson's wearing number 9 too, so he's got the same number as Dad. So it's pretty cool seeing number 9 out there.
That really is. And then you get the last name on the back too, eh?
Yeah.
Our minor hockey organization won't let us put names on the back of our jerseys because they don't want to have to switch jerseys every year or something. Anywho, I won't get into that, but
Soft spot.
but my son will not wear 18, and neither will my daughter. They won't even look at it.
They won't?
No, they
Well-
want to be their own people, I guess. I don't know. He started wearing number 14 because Tom Kuhnackel is a guy from Germany that met us after a Penguins game, and he was 14 for the Penguins at the time. Or no, he wasn't. He was 34. Then he went to the Islanders and became 14. And then Colby wore 14 forever, and then his little sister wanted to be 14 like her brother, you know?
Oh, that's good.
Everybody's got a story, right?
Yeah, my older son likes 88. So he's always worn number 88.
Patrick Kane or what?
No, there was a guy Roy Rollick, and
Is that why?
remember Roy Rolstar? We call him Roy. We played in the All-Star game, and he saw Roy Rollick signed with the Everblades, and Hunter. He had his long hair when he was little, and he's like, "Oh, I want to be." I go Roy Rolstar, so he's like, "I want to be 88." I'm like, "Okay, you're 88." So he's been wearing 88.
Rory Rollick.
Rory Rollick.
I mucked it up against that guy.
Yeah.
We would I don't know how to say this politely, but we would mother F each other a lot out there. We would really compete.
Oh yeah. Why it's funny because he calls. You should get him on your podcast. He calls me all the time, and he sees Hunter with his 88, and because Hunter's a really good hockey player and rips it up, and he sees him getting goals and stuff, and he's always like, "There's my boy."
That's so cool.
All for Rolstar.
That's hilarious, actually. And I should get him in the podcast because they're like, we would muck it up so hard that there were times where we each asked each other to fight, but never did.
Never did it, eh?
No. But fun fact, Jaxson, I didn't really play very high. I played like the second league, Germany and Denmark, and we won there, and then the UK league. But that number 18 in the background and the number 10 beside it, number 18's Raheem in Cardiff, Wales, wears number 18 because of me, and he just won a trophy last year. And then
That's
number 10 beside him, the yellow one, is a guy from Kalamazoo from when I played at Western Michigan that wore number 10 growing up. And they started listening to me in here, and then I got my jerseys from them, or their jerseys.
Awesome.
I got their jerseys.
I see that. That's awesome.
And honestly, they are probably mean the most to me of anything in the shed.
That's awesome. I saw those. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. And I had no idea about it until I started doing this.
How long have you been doing this now?
Man, it's been a while. I don't know. I think it was 2021 when I started or something.
I remember watching some of your podcasts back. I don't know how long ago.
Well, I know, and I just keep doing them. I got no marketing team. I still don't get paid. I just do it because I love it, and I still have a lot of fun doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, you should have something. You've been doing these are great. I listen to them, and I think it's great that you do these, and they're always fun. I was trying to tell him about your podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to be on it." I said, "This is his first podcast, so it's
hey man,
it's a learning experience."
I wanted to tell you today, Jaxson, because I've met some of these NHL guys. They get too big time. Okay, when you make it, don't forget about the shed. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
don't forget who asked you to be on podcast first, right?
The first one right here in the shed.
When I saw you won Brick D Man of the Year, I'm like, man, I better get to him young.
It's awesome. I love it. I love it that you're doing it. So it's great, man.
Man, honestly, I still have just as much fun as when I started it. I get to see whoever inspires me. And Jaxson, you inspired me. And so did your dad coaching your son. Winning together with your son is like the most magical days life can give you.
100%. 100%. It was
Um,
great.
oh yeah, and you have a nice hat, and I have a nice hat, Jax.
Thank you.
Um, well, you guys got any questions for me before we shut her down? I have to go back to the real world.
Yeah, no, I think we're good, man. I really appreciate you getting us on. This was awesome.
Yeah,
I
man.
know Jackson's gonna remember this, like you remembered the brick, his first brick win and his first podcast. So we want to say thank you very much for having us on. It was great.
No, and you know, it's weird when I was going around the hockey world and like your old man probably didn't even know who I was and doesn't even remember from the bomb squad. But
Wow.
I always seem to like just watch people around the arena and watch them play hockey, and like I'm always just observing. And I have great taste in men. And I had your dad on because I'd seen him around the roller rinks and I saw what he meant to the younger kids at the arena and how nice he was to all of them. And then I saw him playing for the Everblades, and we mucked it up like that. But
Yeah,
the way you treat your teammates and people around the game, man, then you know who the good people are in the game. And it doesn't matter where they end up living, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
100%. It's a
Hmm.
good message. I agree.
But like it was cool to see that coaching staff because Jimmy Howard was University of Maine versus
Yeah.
Western Michigan. And then you see a goalie you've played against have the NHL career he did. And then you see him giving back to the game and coaching his son, and you're like, man, that's awesome, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you talk about Jimmy, who I mean, if you don't know him or whatnot, you've never met him, you should see how much he cares. Like he's a good soul. He wears his heart on his sleeve and he cares about the kids and he tries to make everybody happy. And you know, some people take advantage for that, but he's just an all-around good human being that cares about the kids. And I was happy for him that he was the first coach out of Little Caesars in Detroit to get a brick win. And it was very special for him. I know that, and his family to be able to coach his son Henry, and it was just a great experience. Be able to coach with him and Chad and Mark, and be with all the parents. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, and Mark, so Jackson, how I played against him was when I had a very, very short time in the AHL and really didn't play good because I didn't believe in myself, which you got to do that. But he was playing for Rochester and he was like their guy, and he
Yeah.
was big and strong, and it was like, man, I got to play against guys like that now.
Yeah, he could shoot the puck. The
Yeah.
All-Star game, he shot at 103 or 4 or something like that. He could shoot the puck.
Oh, you're a lucky kid, man, to get to play for coaches like that and to get to play for your dad, just to
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah.
Well, you keep having fun playing the game, eh? And keep kicking the shit out of all the other kids.
Awesome, buddy.
And
Thank you
this
so
has been
much.
another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with the Hartliebs and Wally.